Howdy folks, my name's Christian and welcome to Bullish on Farming. Just came out to see the gilts and it is a nice fresh morning on September 28th. Feeling good this morning. It took a half day yesterday, came back and this was waiting for me. Tons of market produce in there and a variety of greens. And these girls are in their last few days of this paddock. They've done a fair number in it, and we're happy to offer them that green with the soil looking like this. Although they'll still be rooting and doing some good work with the soil, getting the nutritional value from this vegetation is a huge plus. As these girls grow out, they are foraging these paddocks and eating what's below the soil and above it. And by offering them this market produce, the nutritional benefit of the greens, and in a more with more variety too, as it's not just grasses, but they're now eating things like lettuces, squashes, melons, hackeri, carrots, you name it. Anything that is healthy for a pig to eat, we give it to them on the farm, and we grow it. So we like feeding our animals from the land. Usually that's off a grazing program or foraging program, but with pigs, of course, who really do fatten up on the grain, which we do feed them. As you can see, I brought out my scratch grain, and this girl likes to be hogging the feeder. And some people are skeptical about these feeders, but I've just bolted them down to a board, and they haven't flipped them yet. These girls are around 220 pounds plus, and you know, sometimes the older girls hog it, but we're not too worried about it. All these girls seem to be growing out well. There is, of course, a hierarchy like any group of pigs, and the smaller one eats last. It's just the way it is. And but they all eat well. And I mean, folks, they got space, they got water, they got food, they got produce coming out to them daily. These girls are gaining weight at a great rate. They're happy, they're scratching, they're playing, they're digging, they're bathing, and they've done some great work with the trees. It's hard to kind of show before and after, obviously, but taking a look at this previous paddock, which happens to be a bit smaller than the other paddocks. Okay, I did generally measure them out, but it wasn't precise and exact, and that's okay. But because it's more condensed, this space, the impact they have on the trees is more visible because there's less trees obviously to play with, so they've done more work on them. And well, imagine year after year. When I was walking through here last fall, you know, it was like all the bristle and branches off the trees were clawing and grabbing you. And it's not all gone, but there's definitely some more space here to walk around. Anywhere that the pigs could reach, they love to rip up the saplings and break branches and play with them and cause a destruction. But that's fine, as long as it's managed and controlled and you're getting your desired outcomes. You know, obviously that the pigs are bigger now, they're having more of an impact on the trees and the land. And we got another 3 paddocks to go, so we have more than enough land to accommodate these animals until they're all gone off the farm. And that program will be, you know, complete for year 1. We received the weaners in April, May, and they're all shipped off by end of November. And again, our goal is that 250 pound mark, and we're hitting it. So we're excited. Things seem to be going extremely well for us. The Berkshire breed has really grown on us, and I think we're going to continue with it next year. It was a solid guy who gave us, who we got the weaners off of this year, and I think we'll reach out back to him. So, you know, let's just imagine that these pigs were out here on the land. That's already great. They're already living out the pigness of the pig and have their ecosystem to live out their heart's content. As you can see, this girl's digging right here, and it's getting wet now, so the ground is getting softer and softer, which the pigs love. And so what I wanted to mention was, by bringing out this produce, they're converting the nutritional value of those greens, which some people might be saying, oh, what a waste. It's not a waste. It's going to our animals. It's adding nutritional value to our meat, and that's becoming convertible into animal protein and fat, the healthy kind that is organic and pasture raised. Okay? Obviously, all of our produce is organic. This is an organic farm. And, you know, we're not political about whether you should be organic or not. It works for us and the philosophy of, you know, the owners. And I think that's great. But what I am most passionate about is keeping the animals on the land. Looking at things almost beyond organic, to where your animals aren't just eating organic feed, but are living a, what we called a regenerative livestock program, which is essentially moving the animals on the land as nature intended it, and farming in that context. And so, although, you know, you're still farming animals for meat, you're doing so with an ecological, with the ecology of the planet in mind, which includes the health and well-being of the animals. And when you take into account, you know, farming on a more holistic level, you start to see that, you know, we are working with the land, the planet, and how it's talked about today, our soil health. So how do we want to treat that relationship, and what are the consequences moving forward of behaving in certain ways in that relationship? And that might be getting too much into it. You know, for some people it's just a no-brainer. By raising animals in nature's intended design, there's everything already figured out with regards to, you know, animal hygiene and waste management. It's all taken care of by the land if you just keep them moving in a natural way. Then, you know, vet bills go down the drain, and a lot of the worries and troubles that come along with, you know, mass production, which would be favoring, you know, profit goals and increasing production without any mindfulness of the repercussions on the ecology of the planet. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. The world has lived that out pretty hard, if you ask me. And that's brought us to where we are today. And we're all free to do what we want. So I appreciate you guys coming by and checking out this channel. We're just sharing here the love for farming and how bullish we are on self-sustainability, self-sufficiency, and regenerative agriculture in a very lighthearted way. These videos are, you know, unscripted. I don't know what I'm going to shoot when I am at the farm. It just kind of comes over me and I say, I'm just going to make a video here. And it's out of the joy of doing what we do here. And again, I want to thank you all for coming by. God bless you. And if you're interested in this, I hope I can help in any way I can by showing what we're doing on our journey. And I welcome you back for the next ones. So thanks guys for stopping by. I think I'll conclude this one here, and see you on the next one.